Hello, people of Earth. How are you today?
Hello, Earthlings.
We are here with Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. I like to give that little dramatic pause sometimes because drama's fun, right? I'm Mark.
Hi, and I'm Davey.
And we are so unbelievably excited to be here with y'all. We got some great people in the chat. Valencia saying hey to family. Kristen's here. We also have some amazing guests I'm so unbelievably excited to have on this with us today. And it's going to be another really great one. I'm really excited. We have a person who was actually our first guest ever when we were broadcasting about Survivor Philadelphia. And we also have our dear, sweet baby bird.
Caw-caw!
All right, that means we have Sabrina and we have Isaiah in the house.
Sabrina.
Hey, what's up?
How are y'all today?
Good. I'm excited to talk about this episode and the rest of the season so far. I have some thoughts.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Me and Sabrina have actually been texting a lot this season, talking about the show, so this should be fun. My first time talking about LRG in a while, though, so I'm hyped.
Yeah,
and we're hyped for you. Like, to be honest, we came into the fold together to talk about Survivor Philly, and it's just really nice to have it come full circle, you know? Welcome to the Survivor New York fold.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes. So, for all the guests that have joined us on Survivor New York 5 Bannerman Island, we posed this question. Bannerman Island was an armory, and if you were a weapon in an armory, what would you be?
You
All
go
right.
first, Sabrina.
I already know my answer. I'd be a wand because, I'm magic. I don't know. That was
You're
stupid,
a wizard,
but
Sabrina.
I literally, if I actually had to pick, a real weapon, I mean, okay, if we're thinking in all realms of, fantasy, then I would definitely be a wand. But if I would pick, just, a regular, a real weapon, that's a really hard question. Maybe, a bow and arrow? Just because I'm
bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's the same time it's happened. Kai said that last week.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll make sure we put it in the cornucopia.
Because, I'm afraid, I would be so scared of, being, right on top of somebody and, attacking them. I would have to be, kind of, far away and be like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot this arrow.
Shoot this arrow.
I don't
Isaiah's
know.
like a butter knife.
Sure, I'm down with that.
Damn, not a butter knife. What is this, Battle Royale?
I'm so glad, because I didn't have a weapon, so you just saved me. Yeah, let's go with that.
No, I'm gonna upgrade that
Oh my
butter.
God.
I'm gonna upgrade that butter knife to a butterfly knife. How about that?
All right.
Oh, that's
Very
the
nice.
cool one, that West Side Story style. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Awesome. For those that don't know, Sabrina is literally an LRG legend. In my personal opinion, has played a lot of great games all over the country, and is always fun to cheer for in every game I've ever watched. And Isaiah has played Survivor Philadelphia, and it's great. And I'm not running placements on any games for any guests because I think people should watch them. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love, I really am excited for you two to join us on the panel today because you both have such an extraordinary strategic mind when it comes to viewpoints on games. You have synthesized a lot of reality television, and it's just going to be a really fun time. So buckle up and let's get started.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we get started, there's one very important thing that I have to bring up because it was brought up last week. And if I didn't do this, I'm not doing my due diligence as a journalist and a podcaster. Dr. Stan, has a body part that's featured a lot so far in these episodes. Before this episode started, we were at 9.
I'm dead.
9 nip slips. 9 nip slips.
We'll let the audience will let them know at the end where we're at after this episode, and that's going to be happening every week for the next.
If Stan gets to be called Dr. Stan, can I get to be called Dr. Sabs?
Yes.
Sure.
Why isn't that your name yet? Yeah,
I keep forgetting to change it. I'm actually a doctor, you guys. Like,
I know you told me that a long time ago.
I know. I'm not just like messing with you.
You just look like Dr. Stan's not a real doctor, though, the way you just said that.
I know. I should have changed it in my display name. Whatever. It's fine.
Robin agrees with it. So yeah, let's get started with we're the Okie Dokie Tribe. What a great that warms my heart. That title right there. I love that title because we love cheese in this house.
I was offended when Annie was like, I hate that word so much, and I was like, I use that word all the time. Like I literally say Okie Dokie in like all my text messages constantly. I was like, oh well, shit.
Yeah. So we start off talking about Stan. You talk about the doctor, and he'll be here.
Love it.
Okay. Breathe. Talk. Okay. So we go to the Sopas tribe, and Brienne cannot believe that she's here. Like she also talks about how she like tried really hard to work with Kayla in the last episode. You actually do see that a lot. Like. It's like so hard to see her back up against the wall so much, it feels like. And she's fighting really hard and she's fighting really smartly, I think. But it's tough when your tribe keeps losing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no, go ahead.
I put hashtag throw a bone queen. She's been throwing bones, you know?
You're so right, though. But it's like, it's hard because like she did this to herself. And
yeah.
I mean, she really did make there was really only one correct decision to make at the beginning, and it was to take the advantage and not the idol clue. I mean, honestly, because like your tribe's gonna find out about it because you're gonna find out who gets the advantage at that immunity challenge, and B, if you like don't lie about it, they're still gonna be paranoid that you found the idol, so like you lose either way. And so for Brienne, like she's in a corner now, and I think the one thing that made me laugh is whenever she was upset that Kayla wasn't working with her, which is like, I get that. But whenever she was like, well, she wasn't going with the tribe. And it's like, how is voting for whoever you want to vote for considered against your tribe when there's like, it's 3-tribe game. Like there's limited options here. Like, I don't understand that. But like, she definitely like has a lifeline in Sharif because like he really like kept her in this game at this point. And so he's definitely doing the most.
Yeah, he is doing the most, but it's because he's wearing all the hats. He has the big swing.
Yeah. Yep. Chris is in the chat. She says, "I feel like taking the clue has never fared well for anyone in real, even in real Survivor."
Completely.
Yeah. It's tough because you have to like, you either have to find the idol and be so believable that you did not, but also like if there's an advantage involved at the immunity challenge, they're gonna find out in a day or so or an hour or so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, being in that position, and we're talking about Brienne and Kayla, right?
Yeah, the Brienne situation with the boat, with the idol.
So, I mean, in that situation, you can't really go back. Like, 2 episodes ago, I would be like, why'd you take that clue? And, but you got to adjust, right? And I think I will say for a positive, like, I think Brienne is kind of adjusting well with the scenario that she's in. I feel like she's purposely kind of putting herself in a position to be like a right hand for Sharif, because I feel like at least from what we've been presented, he is very hungry for power. So I do think that she's at least taking that spot that she's been granted and trying to make flowers out of like a crappy situation. Which, I mean, to be fair, is kind of working out because she's not at like the top, but she's not at the bottom necessarily. She's just kind of like right there, and kind of completely flipped the game on Kayla. By extent, it wasn't her doing, but like, the circumstances kind of like hurt Kayla at the same time. So I'm not going to say Brienne's doing terribly. I think if you let a character like Brienne get to emerge or a tribe swap, then a lot of different things can happen. But shout out to Brienne.
I mean, this is why I drafted her first. Like, I know how she can play, and she's playing how I expected her to play. Granted, a little hiccups in the beginning.
Like, I agree. Like, I don't think she's playing terribly. I think that move was not great, and I definitely put her in a corner. But like Isaiah, I totally agree with you. Like, she's definitely like making a better situation. And you're right, she's not the top, but like I think if she does get to a swap, like that'll be her best like shot to continue going forward.
Absolutely.
Like, you can already tell there is a major top and bottom in every single tribe right now, and like I'm ready for a merge or a tribe swap or something to happen, so we can get some of these personalities to have like different like connections.
Yeah.
And so we can actually see, like, because I really don't like whenever it gets to that point so early where it's like a clear hierarchy and like you just kind of know what's going to happen, like who's next. And so that's why I love the tribe swaps, because like it really does change the game, and I just can't wait for that to happen, because like there's some people here that are going to make it like really interesting.
And I mean, just to go ahead, Davey. I'm sorry.
I'm just excited for a swappy baby. You know, like you have to mix up these dynamics. Like, it truly is something that will be fun to watch when we get there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to add on real quick about Brienne. A good thing that would kind of happen if there was a tribe swap. I mean, you know, the other tribe gave her immunity that one round. They're going to try to use that as like a leading point.
Totally.
Brienne's not like blindly following Sharif or anything. She's kind of said that she finds him like kind of like a threat a little bit. You know, so I do think that there is a lot of upside for Brienne, you know, just survive to that swap or something. But
yeah, I think it's a big survive to get to that spot.
And it's interesting because it feels like Kayla and Brienne kind of swap places, kind of. Because now that Kayla is the one in a 4-person tribe.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And she knows it too, which is like a player like Kayla is really smart. So like, if her back's against the wall, what's going to happen? Like,
I know I'm really rooting for her at this point, because like I feel like last episode, I think it was second episode, like she just had a really bad read on her tribe. And like I was like, oh shit, because like I like her and I want her to do well, but I was like, oh man, she does not know what's going on, or at least that's how it was presented. And so now, like, clearly she knows what's going on. Like, she understands that she's at the bottom of the tribe. And I just hope that she, like, finds something, or, like, it's, like, God, I know it's so, like, it's such a, like, long shot for something like that to, like, obviously happen. But at the same time, I'm like, shit. Like, because, like, I think she would do really good if she had, like, more people around her.
Yeah. And
she's, like, kind of in this fate right now where she has this, like, other, like, group that's, like, totally on their own away from her. And, I don't know. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how Brienne came from Brienne was a player who didn't really have a great footing in the beginning, and then like gradually worked her way into a dynamic. And then Kayla was someone who like everyone trusted, essentially. Like, they nominated her to be captain, and then, you know, the mechanics didn't really stick, and Kayla was constantly thinking out loud and in real time, and then found herself in a position where she couldn't make optimal moves, and that, I guess, is attributed to the swap of places.
Now, and I mean, shout out to Kayla, because she's on my draft, you know, for my sake. I need her
Kayla.
But there is one nitpick I do have with Kayla's game, and it's not just Kayla, but like I feel like since they did put themselves in the spot to like let Laura go early, and then now she was kind of like targeting Brienne instead of like, all right, wait, the guys turned on me. Now it's kind of like, oh, why are the guys trusting Brienne? And like, Kayla, like, you gotta. Brienne, honestly, in my opinion, has always kind of give off the aura like she's kind of like, I'm not gonna say desperate, but like down bad. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like, so like she needs to kind of go to Brienne and be like, look, I'm in a bad spot. You were in a bad spot. What do you want to do here? You feel me? Because if it ain't obvious, the guys are working together. And
it's like a no fucking brainer. Like,
okay, I don't care.
My bad.
Like, because like Sharifa brings up, they did not want to vote for Talk at all.
No, it's so true though, Isaiah, because like that is literally her only option right now. Like, is to try and convince Brienne to do something. And like, I know me and Isaiah texted about this the other day, about how it always turns out like this, where like a girl goes and it's like, oh, the guys are running out the girls, like, and it becomes too late to do anything about it, and to like actually bind together and take out the guys. And I don't know what it is about girls in games. It's like it's either you're either really, really down for a girls' alliance and you want it to happen, or you want it to completely implode. Like there's no in between. Like it's either like for or totally against. And there's always that one person who just totally like messes it up, and then it's you can't go from there. So you can't always blame the guys for taking out the girls when the girls don't even want to work together in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, to quote the amazing JoJo, it's just a little too late. Like once you make that decision, it's gonna have a residual wave throughout the whole game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's an amazing quote there. That full quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much easier for guys to want to work together. It's just like a thing. Like it's just how it happens. Even the real shows, like the guys just like very easily come together and work together. It's always the girls who have a problem with working with each other, and I don't understand that. Like it makes no sense to me. Like I don't know. In the games that I played in the past, like the only time I would really target a woman is if they weren't in my alliance, and that's it. Like I always wanted to work with girls, but like sometimes it's hard because like they don't feel the same, and it's just a common theme, unfortunately. And I really wish it was more so like easier to like work together and like more natural than it is for guys to do so. So it is kind of challenging. It's obviously happening already in this case with Kayla and Brienne, which is unfortunate. But I really do hope it turns around. I hope that Kayla can work with her, and they can. Because they could be a great duo. I could really see them like going far if they really put their heads together, because they're clearly good players and they know what they're doing, at least up to this point. So
I feel like it's too late. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. It's not too late. It's not too late.
I just feel like it's not in Brienne's best interest to do it.
I know, but it sucks. It just sucks.
I noticed on this episode that's not strategy related at all. This is like when everyone starts getting very hot and tired looking. Everyone's like dying in this episode.
Hashtag swampy, hashtag muggy, hashtag swamp ass. It is hot. Like it's hot.
Like it feels like a 1 p.m.
No, I think it was like 11.
Oh god, so it's like not even as hot as it's gonna get.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying the comments like in the past couple of episodes, like they spent 2 hours like trying to find the idol. They like are running around. It's like, conserve your energy. You can look for this thing in a smart way. Well, who was plan A?
We're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later.
Oh my god.
Plan A is not to sweat. And as someone who doesn't sweat often, I like will not do it if I don't have to. So cheers to that.
I mean, I hate sweating and I'm always sweating. But like watching this, I'm like, damn, this is like real Survivor, but like with a hurricane looming. Anything else to talk about Soapus before we get to Iona, I believe is next?
Nope, I just need to pull out my dictionary for the transition to Iona.
Okay.
I apologize for talking so much. I'm a chatterbox.
No, don't apologize.
I love, like, I think my favorite thing, honestly, to talk about and like podcast about is LRGs, like, because it's so much closer to like our hearts, because like we've done like. Have all of us played? Mark, have you played before? Yeah.
I played some LRGs, yeah.
Yeah, so like
I've normally done really bad, so.
And so like we all know how it feels to be in these positions. Like we know how it works. We understand the strategy. We love it, and like it's just it's so easy to talk about.
So it's so easy. Please don't apologize for being a chatterbox. We love chatterboxes.
That's a nice behind the scenes secret here from Naomi, executive producer of Survivor New York, Bannerman Island. Cannot believe proud members rewore their shirts for day 2. Mine was so stinky.
Ew.
No, I didn't. But I also didn't sweat. So like I don't know what she's talking about.
Please.
I didn't. No, I didn't wear my shirt on day 2. I wore a different shirt.
Stinky.
No, I didn't wear it. Stop. I honestly don't remember what I wore, to be honest.
I don't know because I wasn't there. So.
I did take it off, and I remember it was so soaked. So I put it like in my bag, and then I wore a different shirt.
Oh my
That's
God.
good. You have to know like the limits of sweat that you should be exuding into your clothing. That's one of the biggest things in LRGs.
Okay, let's go into Iona. We transition into Jeremy, this lawyer, political figure who uses the word relitigate, and I think somebody goes.
Whoa.
I mean, whoever did the so it was. I have a really cute Davey pic. Gotta post it, please.
Yes,
do.
please. Yes, Naomi.
I always love cute Davey content.
When Jeremy uses relitigate and somebody goes, I felt that in my bones. I needed to pull out my dictionary. I was like, wait, let me just double check. I know that re in front of a word means like, come
Okay.
on, Jeremy, what are you doing?
That reminds me
Bro.
of, did y'all watch Glass Onion whenever he makes a
Yes,
word?
yeah.
Yes, Benoit Blanc.
The agency.
That's what it reminds me of. Oh my god. Can we talk about how obvious like Jeremy and Veronica are as a duo? Yeah, for real, Kristen. How obvious they are as a duo, and like people are like just kind of chit chatting, but like I don't know if there's any like plan set, which it needs to be because
this is like the weirdest strategy ever.
It's
right?
so weird to me. Like why are they just out in the open?
It's not bad if they weren't going to be voting people out potentially soon.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad if they weren't clocked.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows it.
Immediately. Like, come on, guys. But Jeremy still thinks he's not a threat. It's like, bro, you are the threat. Like he's still like, oh, Stan's the threat, like whatever. Like I'm just in the background. It's like, no, you're not, man. Like you're talking like every 5 seconds to this tribe about what you should do. Like you are the threat. Like it's going to happen. But really, they need to split immediately.
Yeah, I think Jeremy does the one thing that I caution players who are really quote unquote cerebral, as we love that word.
Oh God!
It's to immediately start talking big about anything, about game, about life, about things that you're noticing around the game. Like it is. I didn't realize that was what he was doing on the Iona camp, and I'm just like, ooh. There's a lot of ammunition, #Bannerman Island, to now. David, did you expect Veronica to play this way? We'll get to that. I do think that Jeremy revealed he has the gift of gab.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mile a minute.
Well, like he's also such a great character. Like I love Jeremy as a person, he's a good friend, but like you're watching this, you're like his read is so close to good. While being terrible.
So where does that fall? Like if this is good and this is terrible, where you put it in the middle?
Okay, so this is good.
He's getting the narrator.
The narrator.
He's getting weird narrator.
Okay, Isaiah.
Yes. Okay, Edgic.
I don't get narrator vibes. I get like he's fucked immediately. He goes to like tribal council.
Oh, man.
Right. As he should be. I mean, if it goes the way we're thinking it's going to go, because who freaking knows? But I loved seeing Andrew, Stan, and Julia together talking strategy. I was
my God, yes.
Rise up. I was like, I need these three to take out either Veronica or Jeremy, preferably Jeremy, because I think he's running the show. And I would love that alliance. I think they're great. And I love all three of them. So hoping for that.
I want to talk quickly about sorry.
I was just going to say, go ahead, Davey. I'm so sorry.
No, you got it.
Go, baby bird.
I was going to say, I feel like being on this tribe would be an absolute nightmare for me. Like, dude, it is not for the bad thing. Like, I think this tribe is very strong.
Yes.
With challenges. And that's like dope if like you don't have confidence in like going into a vote and like being safe, obviously, right? But like, I think Annie really had a good confession on this episode.
Yes.
Like I remember Aubrey actually did this in her season, Edge of Extinction. I hate Kumbaya Survivor. I am so with that because when you're just winning and winning and winning, you don't really get a chance to see who's like full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you don't really get to see who's really with you. Like you obviously have this duo that everyone sees with Jeremy and Veronica. You don't know who Stan's really loyal to. Obviously, Julia has this idol that's like the tribe idol, but it's not. And it's like you would just hate to go into like a swap or something and like I guess I have to trust these people, but like, do I really? You know, so it's like such a scary situation because you do want to at least go to one vote to test those bonds, you know? And it's like, I do fear for some people now, luckily for Annie, because I don't think Annie really picked up on this. I think Annie is really benefiting from these challenges because I think she would have been gone by now, you know?
I totally agree.
100%.
Yeah. I really like how perceptive Annie is and how she's really doing what I think Jeremy thinks he's doing by diminishing his threat level, diminishing their threat level. I think that Annie wants people to underestimate her because then she can like come up and embarrass them. Like she really has a good grip on who she is as a person and as a player, and she's doing all this thinking and nobody knows about it. They think
that's
that
why
she's
I picked her for my draft, because like,
period.
But what's funny to me too is like, like Annie is like ready for like to actually like play, like in quotes, play the game, like, you know, start running people out and everything. And it's funny because I feel like her and Julia have like opposing views, because like Julia is very much like, this is not just like a game bot thing, like this isn't just like a vote people out thing, this is a connections thing, and you know, and a getting to know people kind of thing. So like I'm interested to see how they like end up either working together or against each other, because like they seem to be like playing very different games at this point. Or at least what we've seen, because they haven't put anybody out yet, so we don't know what the actual strategy is going to be. So
yes,
I want to bring up like Julia's first confessional, because it's so fascinating, like how she talks about like how she's always asking questions, but nobody is asking her.
I felt so sad hearing that. I was like, poor chick.
yeah,
and like, and she's also like, no one has a good social game on my tribe, which I kind of see. Like, I hate saying that because like, it's not a bad tribe. It's just, they're chaotic in the unknown way.
Yeah, they're like chill, but they're not chill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to me, like when you think about that. I also love how Coach Andrew like straight up is like, we're not voting a woman out first. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I really empathized with Julia in her confessional about how she was just like, it's kind of soulless to me to be an over strategizer. I think that's how I like to tackle games too. Like I want to make a connection, and then the connections that we make, like that will ride us to a point where we do have to make difficult decisions. Right. And Naomi says they spent a lot of time hypothesizing. Yeah, they really did. Like you can hear it in all of the little cracks of their conversation. Every downtime is just another hypothetical. It's like
we have to relitigate it sometimes, you know.
Relitigate it can like just show some chill.
I do think when you're in a situation like this, I hate to keep bringing up Edge, but like I feel like this tribe is the comma, right? Where it's like
comma,
you guys
comma.
Like you need to like don't strategize unless like you don't want people to know that you a threat. You know what I'm saying? So you want to just vibe with people, like just talk, be the nice presence. That why would anyone want to vote that person out? They cool, you know. I want to work with that person. You don't want to end up like a Jeremy, Veronica. Sorry, but like, you know, everyone kind of sees that. Oh, like they're gamers, like they are very blatant and very loud about what they want to do. Like, you know, you got to watch out for those people. Shout out to Andrew, because Andrew's finally getting screen time. But I also want Andrew, because we're starting to see it now, but I want to see Andrew kind of like talk a little bit more game with, or not game, but just talk to more people. Because at least what we've been presented, I haven't really seen him attempt to make as many bonds. Like we're seeing it now, but like, is this just like a one-time conversation, or are people like, I haven't seen anyone really speak about like, oh, I like Andrew, like I want to work with him yet, you know? So, you know, gotta ease that in. But and
that's why I'm hoping that like him and Julia and Stan like make that actual connection like move forward. Like, you're right, because like he's been just chilling and just cuddling the immunity idol with his confessionals.
I mean, we'll be talking about this in a bit, but like Robin just brought up in the chat, that's why they didn't talk in the game until they actually had to.
That's so fair though, because like the minute you talk game, it's like, oh, they can strategize, like they're gonna do this and this and this, and it's like, it's literally a game. Why can't we just talk game? Like
and like there was like, because like Julia, like I love her assessment of like the game, but in that whole thing, like, she talks about like how Jeremy is speaking like way too much and trying to make her idol like the tribe idol, and like everyone like agrees it's her idol, like, and like it's really cool because I feel like we actually are seeing how locked in Stan and Julia are, and I'm really intrigued to see how that's going to be a narrative going forward.
I also want to bring it back to the question that Naomi posed about Veronica. When she entered the game, like, did she play how I thought she was going to play? I had only known her from afar. Like, I knew she was a great teacher. And, you know, I explicitly kind of trust teachers. They know how to listen. They know how to use what they know in relationships to kind of gather other things. And they're people that I just explicitly trust. I think the interesting thing here is she is immediately paired up with Jeremy, and I think the stark difference that differs them is that I think Veronica does a little bit more listening than Jeremy, and I think that you can kind of see it because she's been a little purple while she's been on purple, but you can kind of see her trying to maneuver through these dynamics, and I think that she is establishing good connections. So I don't know how she's playing yet based on the edit, #edit, but I do think that she's playing how I think she's playing, which is just, absorbing the information from all the relationships she's getting.
Yeah, I feel like the Jeremy Veronica deal reminds me a lot of Lauren from Cyber Philly. And I feel like that I'm afraid of what's going to happen to them because of that. Like I just get all that same vibe, but we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
Do you see that also, Isaiah, as someone play with Lauren?
No. No, actually, no, I can see it. Dynamics wise, it's funny because Ari and Lauren were like, I see that a little bit. So yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about with Iona before we move to Paul Pell?
Nope. I think the transition, or I guess the contrast between Jeremy and his perceptions of others and himself, compared with the first person in the Paula Pell confessional, which is McKenna, I think it's so cool to watch.
Yeah, I hardly agree with that. Like, it's just like the other time, like how Jeremy thinks he's in control. He's like, I'm in control, and then he's like, it's obvious he's not in control. Right. And then it goes to McKenna, who's probably in the best spot of anyone at Paul Pell, I think.
Completely. And her read was on point.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, she knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes Kristen a lot, and they're working well together. But they're also doing that smart thing of not trying to look like they're playing together.
Yeah.
When you have Danny and Andy, who are next to each other the whole time, being two tall dudes with shaggy hair.
Another obvious pairing here, y'all.
Yeah. Like wine and cheese, huh? Obvious pairing.
Apparently.
Yeah. I also love that McKenna clocks all the dynamics on her tribe.
Yes. She got it all. I was like, damn, girl, okay.
Yes.
And she knows what's going on. And you're right, she is in the best spot for sure. She's definitely in between a lot of these people. Really?
So you disagree. Tell us why you disagree, sir.
I don't know. See, I feel like, yes, McKenna has a really good read, but what are you doing with it? You know what I'm saying? I feel like McKenna isn't being proactive with making allies or anything. So it's McKenna is in the know, but what are you going to do with that information that you gain? You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't really do anything or slip a little bit, not slip information like Ari did this episode, but just lead tidbits here and there, or who's the guy she's really close with? Danny. Talk to Danny a little bit. It's just work.
To be fair, though, they had to go to tribal.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of what Robin's saying is that they didn't have to really talk game until they had to talk game. So maybe that's partially what it is.
That's right. Got it.
Yeah.
She also mentions that Ariel is more vocal than the rest. I don't know how much that's first game jitters or just him as a person or both, because he's a very talkative dude.
Yeah.
I get this paranoid vibe from Ariel. I think it's not being able to sit in the game without thinking of all the things that could happen in the game.
Yeah. You can kind of see his mind going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's the opposites of him and Robin. Because I feel like Robin's just vibing.
Totally.
But also getting considered a threat in a weird way, while Ari is getting considered a threat because he's talking a lot.
Which that sucks. That makes me upset. I don't know. I hate that. Because the whole point of the game is to play the effing game. Why are you even considered a threat just for talking about the game at all? I understand if you're isolating people and making all these plans and crazy ideas, but if you're just trying to be hey, how do you think the game's going? I don't know. I just feel if that's what you're doing and people are already saying you're a threat because of that, that's just ridiculous to me.
I think they immediately pin him as a threat because there's not as much finesse to the other players on his tribe that are talking game, but also putting relationships and morale in the forefront. Like, for example, in contrast to Andy, who is like going through bags, like trying to give information, sizing up deals, and is like, so look at my coin. Look at my coin. How you feel about that? Like, you know
Let
what
me
I
touch
mean?
your
Like,
idol.
let me touch your idol. So, like, such finesse.
Also,
Such
I
finesse.
know that is like it's not against the rules, but like it really like irritates when people are like going through people's bags. Oh my god,
Okay.
that drives me so crazy. I would literally lose
Yeah.
it. I would lose it if somebody like did stuff.
But I agree with Davey here. I feel like so Ari has a lot of common sense, right? Like
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
everything he's saying is correct. I agree with everything he's saying. There's a way to like talk to people so instead of they feel like you're talking to them, you're talking with them. Like he needs to kind of like have that charisma to like
Mhm.
make people feel like this is something that they want to do. This is their idea. Instead, he's kind of like, oh, we need to take all the other two guys and we need to work together and this is what we're going to do. It's not like we should. What do you guys think? What's the grand idea? He's just like, this is the most logical sense. This is what we're going to do. And it's all fun and games, but like in the back of people's minds, it's probably like, all right, what's the idea when they're gone and it's just us? Are you going to do that to me? You feel me? So you have to make people feel comfortable. And I feel like he just spoke a little too much. It's actually interesting because like he apparently played Philly like a couple weeks after.
3 weeks
So
later.
yeah.
yeah, because he's a lot more passive in that one, and he's a lot more upfront in this one. So I can see why he changed it up.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
it definitely is
you
like
know.
that first LRG versus second LRG. Took what he needed to learn, and that's what I feel like is
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
I get
Um,
Yes.
I just got some fun behind the scenes from Kristen in the chat about her idol hiding things. She tried to put her underwear at the top of the bag, and it didn't work because Andy still found it.
I'm so sad. I was so hoping that she was going to keep that secret for a long time.
Also, I mean, like, okay, so like this is like before they like lost in a few minutes. Like they were all idol hunting and summer camp chants. What's a summer camp chant?
It's like I don't know. You remember the summer camp?
No.
Like, it's hard to explain.
At your team.
Like Camp Town races, like that's like that.
No, that's just like a feel good song. It's like I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a tap tap.
Okay.
And like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been to camp in a really long time.
It makes
y'all.
sense. Like I mean, I've been like safe for a couple hours in the game without going to tribal council first type situation, and you're like, okay, so just like vibe and like hang out and tell dumb jokes, but not be annoying. That's like that's my theory on life. Tell dumb jokes, but don't be annoying.
Right.
I think the downtime on a tribe is a really big testament to the amount of chill you have. Like, do you have chill or do you not have chill? We shall find out.
I think they said in the episode, somebody said that there's like half hour between like each event. Is that true?
Yeah. Like I guess the timeline would be okay. So you do the challenge, you come back. There's 20 minutes to deliberate and like strategize. Everyone is on ice. They can't talk. You get pulled for your confessionals, and then that's like about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they do the tribal.
Okay.
So it's, I think it's more than 30 minutes. I think it's like more so 45 to an hour.
Okay. I was just curious because like I know that different LRGs do different times in between. Like I know with Big Brother Columbus we had about the same amount of time in between like each like event. So we'd have like head of household like 20-ish minutes before noms, and then we would do pretty much right into POV, and then like 30 minutes liberation, and then a vote out, and then right into the next challenge. Yeah. So that was like, and it was stressful. Like it was like. It didn't feel like any time had passed at all. It was just like go, go, go. And like you were like having to run around, like trying to find whoever you wanted to find to talk to and everything. So yeah, I feel like with this game, obviously it's easier because you have such a small amount of people and you're stuck in like a little perimeter. But I think it's funny that they're using their time to search for an idol that they all know has been found. Like in their mind, it's gone, but they're doing that instead of like making any kind of strategy. Like, yeah.
I do think another player that I wanted to speak about was Robin. So because it's an interesting thing here, right? I think every single person on this team wants to work with Robin in some capacity. I think they're all like curious about Robin, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is that, and I mean, they've said it in their confessionals that they're not really familiar with Survivor, so I mean, pass. But they were almost kind of like not sure what to do with their position, so they just kind of like didn't talk game or like kind of like try to make allies. And I think that big missed opportunity, because I really feel like if Robin felt like it or like really knew what they were doing in the situation, like they really could run the tribe, and it's crazy, right?
That's why I picked them freaking draft.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just waiting for some Robin magic to start happening, because like whenever people have been saying their name, like every freaking confessional, I'm like shit. I'm like just come on, like turn it around. And I know we obviously saw like just in these comments now that Robin said that they didn't talk strategy until they had to, but still, like I just keep waiting for it. I'm like, oh, because like they could really run this game, and I'm just like, yeah.
But also, like, I think that's an interesting thing to do. Like, know that you can run the game, but like not do it yet. You know what I mean? Like, because they're also not a Survivor. Like at this point, they weren't a Survivor fan.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the idea of like, I can run this. I'll let you think I can't, and then by the end, you will be like under my control.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line though, because like it is such a small tribe, and people are already making those connections, and so I just don't want Robin to get left in the dust, like with all the connections already happening. Yeah. So yeah, that makes me worried.
Yeah, same Z's. I think it's time.
All right. We just stayed on now for like 10. No, we're gonna talk about the immunity challenge. Which I'm excited to talk about because I love this challenge so much. But like, before we get there, I really have to bring up the funniest thing of like, wait, Robin has a comment in the chat. They were nervous as hell.
I don't blame you.
I feel that. But the funniest thing of the whole episode for me is when Asopus comes out and like Talk was voted out, and you see everyone, and Robin's just like,
yeah, it was a little awkward. There were some people that were like, oh, and then there's some people that were like, okay.
Okay.
I know I was gagged. I was like, how did Talk go? But,
right?
You know, I was like, now I get it.
Well, yes, in hindsight, yes.
Hindsight, yes.
So, Davey,
yes,
you actually have history with this challenge.
When Chris asks, did anyone watch the chat? Did anyone watch last season? I literally wanted to like sink into my couch, like, get this challenge away from me.
How did you feel like when you were there? Or were you like, oh no, getting flashbacks?
No, when I was there, I was so excited to like go run into the sand and like just dig up the like whatever is. But then like it was hard. Like I didn't anticipate, like when you're digging, you don't expect the little grain of sands and rocks to go underneath your nail beds. In your cuticles, you're like searching, and like you can see in the peripheral of your eye the other tribes like digging and trying to find things. But then you also are like, well, where are my pieces? And you're trying to like cover ground, but like it's just it feels like nothing's happening. So I didn't like this challenge.
I am happy that the challenge happened again because like it's pretty epic in season 4. Like, and I think it's like the second episode. I think it's really early.
Yes, it was the second episode.
And I like that this challenge kind of got a redemption fight by awareness. Because it's a messed up one. It's what it is. But so for those that haven't watched the episode or want a reminder, there's octagon pieces, 3 of them like inside like a little sandbox area in the sand, and you have to dig them out and then run them over to like the box people. The box people do those on the locks, and then it opens, and then someone else does a word puzzle. Pretty standard Survivor challenge, I think.
Yes. How do y'all feel about locks?
I love them.
Not my forte. Anything with numbers, puzzles. I'm just so trash. I'm sorry.
I love numbers and word puzzles. So like, and I'm really good with locks. Like, and my season of Victory House Mole, I was the only person who could solve like a regular like rotating lock to open up like a box. And I was like, okay, all right.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I love locks, and I do love word puzzles when I have like the luxury of time. I feel like I used to teach ELA exclusively, like all English, and for some reason, whenever there's a time crunch, I look at letters and I can't think.
Yeah, it is hard to like compartmentalize and be like, okay, like try and just like take away that pressure and just focus on like what you're doing, especially in a game like this where it's like riding on you, especially when you're like the last person to go. Like that is my advice to anybody playing any kind of survivor game is do not volunteer for the puzzle. No matter how confident you are, no matter how much you think you can do it, don't effing do it because people will blame you and you'll also feel like you lost the challenge for your tribe. So don't do it.
Yes.
Like I will never do it.
But yeah, like we see both Asopus and Iona like Stan finds a piece in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, he found it so quick. I was like, dang, okay.
Just
looks like Stan's not getting a pedicure. Like his fingers were not in the fucking sand for 5 seconds. Like
he's like, "Wah!" Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And then like we saw Paul has a lot of issues in the dig. Like I love how we get camera footage of Ari like digging, and you see like, a green tile like right next to him. Like, oh,
I know. Man. Oh, I hate that.
Pain.
And then like we get for the first time of the season, Asopus is safe. They like dominated the challenge. Oh, I'm so happy.
I felt like the mom in Mean Girls, like with the camera being like.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, Asopus. You won something.
Thank God. Kayla's like, oh God.
I know.
Kayla's like crying with happy. Like it's so great watching them all like so happy because like they're like, oh, we don't actually hate each other. You know, like it feels like it because we've been against each other for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then Iona, of course, wins too. And then so that means Paul Pell is going to go to tribal council, which sucks for my draft. And Asopus has the power to give someone 2 votes.
Yes.
Can we just like talk about really quickly? Yeah. The puzzle was just Bannerman Island.
Yeah.
I would have got it wrong. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
see, look at you with your puzzle privilege. You're like, don't volunteer for the puzzle. It was Bannerman Island, right? Like,
yeah, I would have lost. Okay.
And then Isaiah and I are like,
why is there so many ends in this?
I'm sorry. I literally like saw the letters scrambled and I was like, oh, is it really just that? Like,
yeah,
but whatever. It's fine. No shade. It's fine.
No shade.
All shade. Okay.
All shade. But sad to Paul. You know, I lost the digging challenge too, so I feel you. And it also sucked being their tribe handle because I was behind my camera, similar to Mean Girls, just being like, "I'm sorry, I feel so bad for you."
Still dancing though. Like,
I'm still dancing. I'm like, at least not me.
Swinging your eyeballs.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
no! Kristen put in the chat. I knew the puzzle before. I just didn't have the time.
Also, Kayla didn't knock her puzzle over.
Yeah,
okay. I was thinking the same damn thing. I was like, knock the puzzle over. Like, what are you doing? But
what you doing?
I know it's like you never think about it, like right then and there.
It takes a lot of iconicness to be like Michelle. Okay.
This is interesting. So Brienne said that if they lost, she would have the extra vote and all the power on the tribe of 4.
Really? That's kind of cool.
That is really cool.
I believe that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Asopus' deliberation, the quick fire deliberation to see which person on Paul would get the Bannerman Island advantage.
I like that we saw it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do appreciate that, like actually seeing what they're thinking.
I mean, granted, like that was a huge part of contention last week, so I understand not having that in the edit for drama. But like, yeah, no, it's cool. Like considering like it does have the biggest effect on the vote. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Hashtag yay Robin.
Hey,
Davey.
What? I love my little hashtags. What this link isn't on?
Hashtag.
Look, these links are not even on Twitter or whatever. Hashtags all day. Hashtag love my hashtags. Okay, so we get into Asopus.
I love this. I like seeing them happy for once.
Yeah.
It's like a really great moment. Like Ed's like, yeah, like it's great. Like he's like happy and he can't believe that they're actually like safe. And like then we get to the greatest moment in any LRG history.
Oh
my god!
I think that's really iconic, to be honest.
They're just like so. Yeah, I can't believe this happened.
Before we get into the quote of the episode, not just the episode title, I am living for the tension between Kayla and Brienne.
Yeah,
I think something that I okay. So 2 critiques, I guess. Well, not critiques, but like soft pushes. Kayla, next time you're playing an LRG, please push the puzzle over so people can't look. And 2, if you cast a vote for someone and you survive and they survive, please have a restorative conversation if you win. Like any downtime, please have a restorative conversation because this is the moment where you can undo some damage. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I did cast my vote for you. Honesty does go a long way.
Honestly, though, like really being honest and just being like, I voted for you. Sorry. Like, let's figure this out later. Like, I don't know. Like,
I do wonder if that conversation was attempted to be had when this started. I mean, like in this little video, because it feels like it could have gone that way. All right, I guess it's a no.
No, I'm doing this because I disagree. I don't think that they had the wherewithal to patch things up.
They're also like sweating out of like every inch of their body. Like it's like 2,000 degrees in upstate New York. Well, not upstate, but like that part of New York.
Well, go ahead, Davey.
No, you got it. You got it, King.
I was going to say Laura's karma hits heavy. Okay,
it hits heavy.
There.
Literally that moment, I was like, I'm out, but I have a draft, so I'm really not out.
So they're at the table. And they're like the camera just starts off on like Brienne and Kayla, and they're like having a talk about like the extra vote and stuff like that, and how things would have gone. Camera pans over to Sharif, and he's like it's like such a feels like a locker room scene like in a movie. Like he's just like just finished the match, and he's like, yeah, right now they're probably talking about like a plan B, and I'm gonna have to go through plan B over the plan A, and then Kayla immediately is like, so that's plan A, huh?
Yep.
And he's like,
yeah, it was so awkward.
He's like, I'm not gonna tell you that.
Tell you.
Like,
what?
Sharif, just tell her.
God. Yeah.
Tell her that you are plan A.
Yeah. Like, I mean, is it a hot take to say that Edsel's playing a better game of everyone on this team, or no?
Say again.
I don't think it's a hot take.
I don't think he's getting. Is Edsel playing the best game on this tribe, or? Because I don't think anyone's targeting him, and he's
not at all.
Number.
Yeah, so, he's definitely lying like pretty low, but almost to a point where I kind of forget he's there.
Yeah,
like, we never really see him.
And that's not necessarily bad.
No, and you're right. You're right.
But what we see isn't what the cast sees.
Yeah. Like he's voted with the majority every time too. That's what I'm just
also
like,
true.
Right.
Yeah,
but also I want to bring up like the small reaction that Brianna gives the camera right after the whole Plan A thing. She looks
she does. Hashtag face crack.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Sharif is definitely like I'm not gonna say ruining his spot, but I feel like he was in a position to possibly. This is hot, this is early, but
make it hot.
Jeff. Oh my god! I almost said Jeff. Boston Rob this, where like he could be like the mafia leader of this team.
Yeah.
And, he can just choose who leaves when. But I feel like this little interaction, as well as like Brienne kind of like sussing him, I feel like he's slowly kind of losing that spot. So,
Face Crack Island. That's the thing.
I agree with you,
yeah. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I think that Naomi, you need to make a compilation of all the face cracks of the season. I think there will be more face cracks than nip slips, to be honest.
I'm done.
That's a lot of face cracks considering how early in the season we are right now.
I mean, you never know.
Survivor, nip slips versus face cracks, right?
Yes. Nip slips versus face cracks. Let's put it in the books.
Anything else about something before we move on to Iona?
Nor.
Nope.
Oh, Kayla thinks that Brienne has the idol again. That's an important thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about
It's
that.
not just the hilarity of that awkward
Kayla,
conversation.
man.
Oh, I forgot. I love Kayla. She's great.
Yeah.
I love that tribe so much. Like,
Just
they're
killing
such
my team, man. What are you doing, Kayla? Come on.
four
get it
very nice
together.
people. Like going at it is always a fun thing to see. Then we get to Iona, and Annie's concerned about the general threat level of her tribe, not herself, of her tribe.
Mhm.
And Annie hates the phrase "okie dokie," but
Mhm. Come on, title queen.
Annie is definitely the confessional maestro of the season. I will say
Oh,
that.
this is also important.
Favorite.
So the three on Esopus think that Kayla has the idol. So Kayla thinks that Brienne has the idol, but the other three think that that's a fun dynamic.
They're only thinking that she has the idol to try and like give themselves a reason to vote her out.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And in reality, no one has the idol, according
They
to
know she don't got it.
Yeah,
I'm just they know she ain't got it.
Oh, Standys rise up. All the Standys in the house. Rise up.
Then we get to Veronica having like her first confessional in like 2 episodes.
Yes, my purple queen.
In purple
queen.
Purple queen in purple. And she's like, she feels good. Yeah.
Feels good.
I think she's like not I think she's like in that fourth spot on the tribe.
She's in the what spot?
That fourth spot. Like not like
Yeah, not on the outs, but like not at the top either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because Veronica is very forthright about her final two and her alliance with Jeremy. I think something that I am interested to see is will she be like fluid, or will she be unwavering to the decisions she makes with and about Jeremy? Like,
I need to see her in a tribe swap away from Jeremy to see like what she'll do.
Oh yeah,
I feel like she's letting Jeremy take lead. For sure.
Yeah.
And then again, I think Jeremy's a little intense during this episode.
He's like always leaning up against the tree of his confessionals, and like he's like, I'm on a tree and I'm a great social game. Wink.
Yeah, he always has the hands like this. He's like, all right, I got this.
He's doing a power pose, y'all.
I also love how
what? Who did that?
I'm 99.9% sure.
Yeah, it was me. Sorry.
Oh my god!
I was just the womp 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 instead of that weird like.
That was great timing though. Oh my god.
Yeah, you can add 3 more face cracks to the season. That was crazy. That was crazy.
I'm like,
that was good. That was great.
In my computer that actually turned on.
I love it.
But also Jeremy has faith that Coach feels like people are like trying to be themselves, which is that's a really hard thing to do in these type of games, like trying to be yourself while like being in game mode and then like getting ready to go into psycho killer mode, which is I love that phrase.
Psycho killer mode.
What just happened, Sabrina?
That was so random.
Psycho killer mode.
I love that phrase.
Round 3.
Fight.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all that Iona gave. Also, I didn't really see a lot of Stan this episode. No confessionals from Stan.
I mean, we got that really good scene. Yeah.
I don't think Stan needs to be really in the mix. People like Stan.
Yeah, he was chilling.
He was chilling.
Dips out, guns out, dips out.
Yep. I keep thinking about how he weaponized the conversation with him and Jeremy to Julia and Andrew. I just keep thinking about how great that was and how you're right. He didn't need a confessional this episode because he just did that and was okay.
That's
Sure.
important. Yeah.
From the great words of Bruno Mars, dripping in finesse.
Oh my
He's
god.
the one that said that.
I have so many quotes. I'm Shazam too.
Sam was also just okie dokie.
Oh, good
So
one.
the Paul Pell tribe. Ari, Andy, and Robin are the names that are going around according to McKenna. McKenna is like such a cool narrator in this episode.
Mhm.
We have like 2 narrators in this episode, both from this tribe. Because I feel like Ari is trying to be narrator, but McKenna is narrator.
Yeah, I would
Mm.
agree.
Being a narrator is so hard because if you have a bad read, it's just like, all right. oh my-
Yeah,
you
it's like
know,
I feel like this tribe, they change names like every 5 seconds. I was like, I don't know who the hell the target is anymore, because I thought it was
Yeah.
Robin at first, and I was like, what the fuck? And then they were talking about like Andy and Danny and Ari, and I'm like, guys, like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
a lot. There are a lot.
There's a lot of names in this tribe that go around in this episode.
I need my people to get it together because I
Wait,
Wait,
feel
your people being
like
green.
everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even
Okay.
think I have anyone on this team.
Was it
Hold on.
Robin? Who
I don't
got
think
Robin?
I have Robin.
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't got nobody on this tribe, so I'm chilling.
You were like,
I have
you're-
half the tribe. I have half the tribe. I was getting anxiety.
Isaiah,
attack
you were
all
like,
through.
fuck green.
I'm like, the
These are
person
my
I'm saying that
people.
was Kristen. And
Um,
I'm like, cool. Ari's going to go around. Andy's going to go around. Thank God for Kristen. Thank God for Kristen, man.
I just think that they all came in here the first round and was like, Andy is the name, right? Like everyone was on Andy, and obviously it's good for Danny and Kristen to I don't think Kristen and Andy are necessarily working together, but I think Danny's like the middleman of stopping them from taking shots at each other. So it's not in Danny's best interest for either one of them to go. But outside of Ari, like I feel like McKenna and Robin had the opportunities to kind of shake it up, but like they played it safe and didn't really like try to apply any pressure.
Yes.
And that's cool and all for like, a round or two. But like unless you're relying on a swap or something, you got to realize that this is going to be directly putting you at the bottom of the totem pole, right? Like I feel like Ari was vibing with McKenna and vibing with Robin, and I feel like if they were more vocal on what they wanted to do, they would have forced Kristen, Danny, or Andy to like fold, and I feel like one of them would have folded and submitted, but I don't know. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for Robin and McKenna. They really could have just. I'm promise you right now, Danny, Kristen, and Andy would not have stuck together. Like one of them would have folded easily. Probably Kristen. Shout out to Kristen. I like how Kristen's playing, by the way. But I feel like Kristen is a very self-interested player, and I also feel like Andy is a very self-interested player, and they would have not done what Danny did if there was a majority already. So,
this is interesting. Despite their name being thrown out a ton, Robin was overall pretty safe. They just became a according to name.
Okay.
I'm just like, all right, like, do we prioritize safety for a round? And then just like survive round to round, or do we like try to like put stepping stones to prepare for the future? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
No, I absolutely get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, you go.
No, okay. Isaiah, I get exactly what you're saying. I think the difference between McKenna and Robin here is McKenna knows that they're in the know, and so it's like I'm not gonna rock the boat because I don't have to. Robin is like, well, I don't really want to rock the boat because I don't really know what is happening, but I know that I'm gonna try to be on the best side I can be. I do like their ability to take the conversation with Andy and weaponize the info and be like, yo, Ari is putting your name, and it's like, we can make this easy. We don't have to do either you or I, because I know our names are out there.
Yeah.
I thought that was really smart.
That was a good conversation between them too.
It was a good conversation.
Like that's like considering that they both were saying each other's names a lot and using the whole Ari of it all, like Ari going after Andy basically just to jump, really helped be that bridge for them,
Yeah. And I mean, and granted, like, and because I know Robin in the chat just said I'm an in the moment player. Granted, like this is like the only challenge that they've lost. So like, if this doesn't happen again and you ride this to a swap, then like it's perfect actually. Like there's nothing wrong with that because Ari was a fairly like loud player in the moment. So it's, you know, it's pros and cons. It really just depends on what happens after this. Like if they lose another challenge, then I would be a little afraid, you know, with a move like this because you're putting your game in someone else's hands. But you know, that dominant like strategy point isn't always the best for all the players. You get what I'm saying? So there's not a right or wrong move here. It's just about how you go about it the next round, if you ask me.
I think where it got a little wonky here too is Naomi put a comment here saying that this round was a lot of I'm targeting this person, but if they ask, I'm targeting this person. And I think the narrative just got so jumbled up that there wasn't enough time to really flesh out this actual like plan that should have happened. And it just got to the point where like, oh yeah, Ari's the one throwing names out. Let's go. Like that's it. Like there just wasn't enough time to like really come up with that great move that should have been done. Because Danny and Andy are clearly a power duo here. So yeah. And that's why I think for us, we're like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is it like going the way it's going now? And I think Isaiah, you have a great point with that. The next time they lose, it's going to be really tricky. Like for some of these people,
yeah. I have to say, I was watching the quiet ones as we're like kind of discerning, right? Like the quiet ones are the ones that you really have to look out for because they're the ones that are thinking and sowing a lot of just the early planting of seeds. I also thought it was really interesting in all of the conversations because it seems like every person on green had a touch point with every person because obviously you're going to tribal. It was interesting to see who was looking at people's eyes and who wasn't. There was a lot of like
all the time. Yes, I kept focusing on that. Like who's making eye contact?
Yeah.
I think I'll go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's that thing of like Naomi's in the chat talking about how that Andy and Robin conversation was amazing. Like how like you have to make like how Robin made Andy feel safe. And like I'd say Andy's spiraling this episode. Like because everyone thinks he gets the idol and he doesn't have the idol. Because like I think he's still being I guess a lot of people don't trust that Kristen has it. I don't know. But it's that interesting thing of like the way all of that works out. And then you also have Danny, who's like, I'm everyone's number one.
Yeah, I think Danny was the obvious choice for me, at least, to vote out. That's just my opinion.
I don't know, because so there's something that stuck with me from Winners at War, and I'm about to bring it up, because if you look at all three of the tribes dynamics, right? You got the blue tribe where there's a clear 3-person majority, and you know, it's just whoever loses, you know, sorry. And then you got the purple tribe where they haven't really gotten a chance to establish anything. Then you got this tribe. And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of people who mesh well with each other, but they all don't have the same people that they want to work with, right? Yeah. So Tony Blanco said this in Winners at War. He said there's a lions and then there's hyenas, and both of those strategies can work. I feel like the lions are the people up front, loud, kind of just being very blatantly like straightforward with what they want to do, and that would be like a Ari, that would be a Danny, and that would be like a Kristen in this tribe. And then you got the hyenas, the people who are kind of like playing a little bit safer, being very careful with what they're saying, but if they see an opportunity to strike at something, they're going to do that. And that would be like an Andy, a Robin, and a McKenna. And in this situation, I feel like the hyena strategy was a smart move because Ari, unfortunately, was a little too loud, and I think Ari was a little too reliant on the quieter players to want to be down to do this move without really establishing the groundwork to get these people to want to work with him and want to do this group thing. Like, you can't just throw random people in a group and then just expect them to all want to vote together. You got to like talk to people beforehand, and instead of like kind of doing that finesse that we talked about earlier, he kind of just like in prior rounds when they were winning was just like, oh, we need to get Andy out, we need to get Danny out, we need to get Andy out. Where you got a Danny, which I know Sabrina was saying was the easier vote. Danny's been using this time to kind of like really make Kristen feel good, really make Andy feel good, really kind of get McKenna in his pocket a little bit, you know. So when you're not taking the time to establish these bonds, that's where someone like a Danny or a Sharif from previous rounds are going to be able to pick what direction is going to go. luckily, Kristen also. I'm glad that she said that. Kristen, Kristen is like instead of lion, hyena, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yes.
You don't really see what direction Kristen's coming because she's kind of pretending to be like low key when she's really not. So I don't know.
I mean, she's gonna rip apart all the logs, and look for more idols.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Sabrina, that you wanted to target Danny because Danny is holding a lot of the cards. If they targeted Danny, like I think a lot of things would crumble, or at least a lot of information would be like compared after the tribal.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was interesting. I don't think that he like meant to do it, but I think he was a little dismissive of Robin during their one-on-one with the idea of like where the idols were, and
right.
I don't know what Robin thought of that.
I have a question. It's not strategy related necessarily, but it's a prominent thing in this area. I have to figure out how to ask this. So like the scene where Danny and Kristen are talking, and he has like a half-eaten banana. We see him eating another banana later. Is that the same banana but earlier? Or did they let him eat 2 bananas?
No, I honestly think Danny searched for hours for an idol that was already found, and he needed his potassium to be like re-upped, so he ate 2 bananas.
Okay, I was just like, I get it, but it's like my brain's like, wow, like that's a lot of potassium for one person in like a quick succession in one round.
Mark, I think there needs to be a little bit more banana etiquette in asking that. So
I'm just like
a ginormous dude, so like whatever.
But also like I do love how he's just like crouching like, eating a banana while like Kristen like staring up at Kristen while eating the banana. It's I don't know. I know it's like my brain like can't.
You really were focused on the banana. I mean, honestly, like whenever someone's talking with food, I always look at the food too. Like when in this last season, 43, when Noelle had the papaya, I didn't care that Owen and James were fighting. I was looking at the papaya and how unripe that shit was. Like that was.
No.
I was like, that needs to be a little bit more.
No,
riper, but
it's so true though, because like in Survivor Philly, like whenever they had the little pizza merge, I was like, all the pizza, and like, oh, it's like, why are they having the Subway? Like,
yes.
It was Jimmy John's, by the way.
Oh, Jimmy John's, whatever.
John. Come on, Jimmy John's.
I would never eat Subway.
Period. No, it's always disgusting.
Period.
I mean, but banana talk was good though. Like seeing like Danny and Kristen talking like that was like it was good. It was good talk.
Yes, it was.
I just want like I know it's like the dumbest thing ever. I just like, did he really just have 2 bananas in like a 5-minute period?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Good for him.
Listen, I salute you. Eat as much as you want, Danny.
Danny, eat all the food of the tribe. Let them all starve.
Everyone kept bringing up meat eating hoagies. Listen, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, get the fuck out of my mouth and just like be like let me eat. I haven't eaten all day.
If he wants to get his potassium, let him get his. You know what I'm saying? Let him get it.
Yeah. I have to give a shout out to Andy because that confessional of my ideal vote out is not me. Mood.
Yeah, like
that was a mood. Wow. I LOL'd really hard.
Not LOL'd.
I did. I was like, that's so true.
And like, you start seeing towards the end of like this area that like Robin and like is having like the good talks with McKenna and Kristen. Like you're like they're playing well together. I'm really excited to see how that works out. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to form something solid because I think that it could work out really well if they tried it.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I also need to shout out like Ari's rundown of the idol hunt is so chef's kiss of like perfect Ari chaos about like how the idol hunt's been going and how there are 3 things that can happen at tribal council and how 2 of them are good for him and one of them is terrible for him. It's nice to see the narrative that Ari becomes so strongly in Survivor Philly is having a birth here in New York.
Ari is king of confessionals. I'm just being honest. He's really good. I'm so envious. So good at it.
Yes.
I also need to shout out production. I think Alex told me this was him. The spin camera shot.
Wait, I wrote that down. Naomi, if you're there, Naomi, paging Naomi. Who did that shot? Was it me?
I think
Or was it Alex?
Alex said it was him.
Was it me?
I was at a watch party. He said it was him that did it.
I don't know. I think that might have been me. But
Could
it
have
might
been both
been
kids
too.
at the same time holding the same camera.
Maybe.
No, but like speaking of production though, like I'm really appreciating like the quality of the editing. Like it's been actually really good. Like it's easy to follow, and I love when they actually put subtitles when like things are a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
And I love that it's the Survivor font. Like there's some nice touches. So yeah, the actual like video quality of everything has been really excellent. So like I really do appreciate that. So kudos to Rod.
Come on, production.
But like while Naomi is being paged right now, I just think it's a really cool thing you don't see too often in Survivor when people are getting ready for the tribal. That like shot of people of the spin around while everyone's getting ready for the hurricane to come.
Yeah. I also will probably after this episode look through my little like Google Drive and see if I like was the one that did it. And if not, it's okay. It was a really beautiful shot.
You're gonna be
Like,
honest until you
in
figure
your
it out.
notes, you're like, I did like were notes like I did great shooting this shot, or like is that what your note says?
No, my note literally says, "Did I do the circle around torch shot? Please tell me." That's what I wrote.
Davey said, "Let me get my film credits."
Let me get my film credit. I'm good. I promise.
Anything else you guys want to talk about while Naomi is scouring through the hours and hours of archive?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
All right, we have tribal time.
Yeah, I think these final tribal, or sorry, not final tribal. These tribal council questions and the answers are just so smart. They're given with such like they're given with such a perspective of information, but then there's also like caginess around it. It's like I know what I know, and I don't really care that you don't know what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I want someone to be messy.
Well, it's because you're making a mess, baby bird.
Listen, give me TV, but like it's smart. Like everyone's giving nothing but pretending to give something. You know, like
Go girl, give us nothing.
empty quotes.
Go,
there you go.
girl,
Saying
give
a
us
bunch
nothing.
of nothing. But
Yes.
I want someone to call someone out and be like, "This person's going home."
I so feel that too because even on Real Survivor, like I like just totally zone out during tribal unless it's a live tribal and right before voting. Like I am. Like I can't. It's so boring to me. People are they hold everything to their chest, and it's like this is TV for a reason. Like
that's with any show, not just this, by the way. For anyone,
Mm-hmm.
that's any Survivor, LRG, the Real Show, and I miss the days of live tribal. But this is a conversation for another podcast. But
go out with a bang.
Yes.
I was really happy seeing Ari discover his most famous line from any of his LRGs. This when he goes, "Now it's the most important tribal council." It was really cool to see that, like considering he says that so many times in Survivor Philly, like how this is the most important tribal council.
Tribal council.
The most.
This is the most important tribal council. He kept doing that.
It was so funny in Philly though. Every time we did it, and like it was like it's funny this time too. It's just we only get it once.
Sick.
I feel like it was like the most standard tribal beside for the extra vote.
Yeah. I thought the editing was really cool. Hashtag shout out to production with McKenna's A, and then I guess like the bait and switch because Robin, when they realize that they do get the extra vote, I think the first vote is for Andy.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that. I like that moment when they saw that they got the double vote, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so we get the vote, and it appears like Robin split their vote because it's a 5-2 vote.
Yes.
And dear sweet Ari, one of my draftees is gone.
Oh, and then when he got voted out, no words. I felt that.
As you should.
As you should, right? Like, fuck y'all. I hope you lose.
Okay, listen.
Kidding.
He probably called off work for that. Like,
Yeah.
No kidding. Though. That's like the worst part about LRGs. It's like if you literally call off work for it and you get voted out like immediately, it's like what the fuck? Like,
and then our coworkers like, so how'd you do? You're like, oh, I did great. You're like, I got voted out first. Like in your mind, you're like, I got voted out first, so you tell them that you did great.
Yeah, that blows.
When I tell you, when I played my LRG, I didn't call off until like Tribe Swap. I mean the merge, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get eliminated early.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I called it like the day of, but like I like that is so scary though, because it's like you're gonna miss out on money, like you know.
I know it sucks. Like it's such a hard choice to do it, because like you really do have to be strategic with like your life, like what you can and can't do. You have to fly, and you have to pay for a flight, and you have to pay for like a hotel.
Oh my god, out of state, yo.
Yes,
that's why LRGs. I feel bad for anyone who gets early boots, man. Like shout out Laura, Tack, and Ari. Feel for him.
Me too.
Yeah. Strategic in life, strategic in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So allergies. But also if you do like have to take time off, use that shit. Like if I got voted out early, like knock, like I would need that day to grieve.
Fair. So fair.
Yeah.
Way, dude. Oh my god.
I remember when I did Survivor Brooklyn South, I got voted out third. I was so fucking mad at Emily Paddock. And then like became cool for an hour later when she got voted out. But
name drop.
That is the ultimate process.
Like she got me out, and then I'm like good. But like, I was like, I called out of work that night from like I like.
Oh man,
I'm like, I'm gonna do great. I had my first Survivor like LRG in like a while, and the mistakes I made, I'm not gonna go out first, went out third. But
yeah, it's rough. And it's been kind of, it just sucks. This boot order has been like not it. I'm like, ugh.
Well, I mean, Ari got another chance. I don't feel too bad for him, but I do feel bad for Laura and Tack. I feel bad for her for sure.
Oh, I feel so bad for Laura.
Oh,
Tack got so blindsided. Like what?
Yo, yeah!
Alex First is a liar.
I'm going to read this comment because I'm gonna get my roses. Survivor New York says, I can confirm Davey filmed their spinny footage for Politics Survival, and that's on what period?
Yeah, I'm glad you read that. I'm so glad you read that, because the audio listeners are going to be like, why the hell is he yelling?
Literally.
Oh my god. If you're listening to this, just know the comment was on the screen and I had to get mine.
And we really got more confirmation. Alex literally standing right next to him while Davey's on this. So in my mind, that means Alex is running with you to make sure they're shot. I don't know.
Right. So good.
Yeah, like let's talk a little bit about Ari. Like, Ari, I think the seeds are there for what has become a pretty good player in LRGs for Mari. He was really fun to watch. He plays with his heart. It's the thing I really love about him. He's not afraid to make a dumb joke or look like an idiot, and that's one of the things I love about him so much as a human being and as a player.
Shout out to Ari Ferrari. I feel like he is there to not only have fun and win, but he is there for giving good TV. And I think not a lot of people have a good understanding of that. And even if like he's not playing the most dynamic or something, he's going to give it to you in the confessionals 100%. So I really enjoyed him in this, just like the original show that I met him in. But I really loved him in this, and we lost him so early because I was so excited. I saw him in the first episode, and he was playing so hard. I was like, okay, are you playing pretty good? And then it just like boom. I was like, boom. Damn. Yeah. But he has so much potential. I love Ari.
Yeah,
love it.
I just have to give the roses. Like kudos to pushing names. Ari, you were fearless. You talked to everyone about game, about life, about like lots of things. And I think that your progression from Survivor New York to the 2-week break that you had, and then going into another game is just like a beautiful mwah. So I hope you feel the love.
Yeah.
And Valence in the chat says when she thinks of Ari, she thinks of Isaiah too because of their game, Survivor Philly.
Connections.
Oh, before we get to the next week on, I have to show the other banner I made. Stan Snip Slip episode update. We're at 12 right now for the season. Tune in next week for that. But next time on Survivor New York, we have some interesting things. Like Brienne is thinking that Sharif is king, and you can see that. Like you can see that forming in this episode. Julia says Jeremy and Veronica have too much power, and Kristen comes clean to Annie and another arm, which will get McKenna's arm.
Simmer down.
I have so many thoughts, but my poker face is still intact.
Yeah,
you're doing great, David. You're doing great.
Thank you so much.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is awesome. I'm so happy we had this. I love talking to all y'all about Survivor and stuff. We should see how can people follow y'all, and do you have anything exciting coming up?
Go, Sabrina.
You can find me at Sabrizi2492 on Instagram and Twitter. I'm private on both, but I promise I'll follow you back if you follow me. And yeah, I'm just chilling, just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. Isaiah and I are going to start an Are You the One podcast next week. And I'm so excited because that show is so fun. So I can't wait.
Yes. And if you want, you can follow me at 8Ball Bangers on all platforms. You can join me every Sunday and Monday. I'm doing a Big Brother review series until Big Brother Canada starts in March. So you can check that out. We're talking about Big Brother Celebrities seasons 1, 2, and 3 on Monday, and I have some fun people coming on for that. So check me out there. If you are watching Pressure Cooker, you can check out my interview with Gina from the season.
Such a great episode.
I'm doing one more interview with 3 other players this weekend, so that should be up on Sunday as well. Check out that. And then I have this is podcast 1 of 5 that I'm doing this week, so you'll see me all week. But this is awesome. I'm gonna keep watching Survivor New York, and shout out Davey and Mark. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yes,
thank you so much. From the top brother himself.
And of course, subscribe to become part of this Us on Podcast family. We love there's been some really amazing content on the channel recently.
Truly.
I've been loving the Traders coverage, of Pressure Cooker coverage. It's all amazing. It's it's such a great network of people.
Yes.
Shout out to Valencia. That was a great comment. You're always there, and we love having you listen in. You can find me at Daveyy Sack, DAVEYYSAK, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My TikTok is not that. My TikTok is Napsack, NAPSAK 96.
Cool.
Oh, and Isaiah, you should go look at it because there's a Everything Everywhere All at Once TikTok.
I literally picked up my phone to look at it. Now I'm not checking it out.
No, it was my birthday theme. It was a theme for my birthday.
I'll
my
look
30th
at
birthday.
I'll look at it.
For me, you can follow me at MarkLevy85 on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. Have had some really cool interviews recently. Personal podcasts, including a Boone from Lego Masters, and that's starting to pick up in the Lego world, which is pretty cool. If there's anyone you want us to talk to about Lego Masters before it comes back, let me know. Davey and I will be covering Survivor the game Outlast in chunks starting pretty soon. I'm also really excited about another thing because Isaiah and I are doing our movie podcast again, at least one more time. We're going to be doing our top 10 movies of 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be at least on my list for sure.
It won't be on mine.
That's fine. My list is going to get very fucking weird. I'm just going to let you know that. But yeah, this has been fun. Everyone, please tune in on Friday at 7 p.m. That's when the next episode of Survivor New York Bannerman Island drops. Or whenever you get a chance on YouTube, and you can watch other seasons there too. Yeah, this has been great. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.